Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Before I start, I just want to say my sincere apologies for not concluding my previous Santorini vlog. I just feel like so many things were happening, so many celebrations were happening. I just feel like I was on such a high that I actually forgot to pick my camera up, so I'm really sorry about that. But I want to try and improve my vlogs. But I want to talk about energy, which is obviously the topic of today's video. Is one of my favorite things to talk about because ever since I got into spirituality and I was spiritually awakened, I sort of understand how the world works now and how I can stay away from people who really do drain me, and even not just people, just like things that drain me. And when things drain you, when things lower your vibration and lower your energy, it actually essentially stops you from achieving the life that you want, and I will explain perfectly in this video. But before I start, I just want to say that if you believe in Bluetooth and you understand how Wi-Fi and connection works, then this whole video will make so much sense to you. Because when we talk about Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, that's all based on frequencies. When you connect your device to like a speaker, or you connect your phone to like your AirPods, the Bluetooth, it's the frequency going between your device and the other device that you're trying to connect it to. And that's the exact same thing with your energy and your vibration within yourself, because everything in this universe contains an energy, and within that energy is a vibration. It could be a low vibration, it could be a high vibration. It depends exactly on how you live your life and how you view life and how you practice your habits. Now, if you are the type of person who views life in a very positive way, you are kind and you express gratitude and you're very blissful, then obviously you're vibrating at a high frequency and you have a high energy. But if you're the opposite and you're the type of person who sees life in such a negative way and you're constantly overpowered by things like lust and guilt and shame and fear and doubt as well, even when it comes to like manifestations, if you're trying to manifest something and you're still full of doubt, that is low vibrational. Now, the reason why it corresponds with the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi thing is because when you're trying to focus on your own energy, if you want to try and raise your vibrations, then you essentially connect with things that are also high vibrational. However, if you are around low vibrational things and things that have such a low energy, that energy is actually contagious, and that will also bring your energy down. And that's why I'm going to explain why it's so important for you to protect your energy and how you can protect your energy, because energy is contagious. And you can also compare that to, again, the Wi-Fi situation. If a lot of people are using a Wi-Fi, let's say like you walk into like a public Wi-Fi place, or even if you invite a few people over to your house and they all connect to the Wi-Fi, notice how your internet starts to become much slower. Or even with Bluetooth, like, you know, if so many people are connected to a device, it takes so long for you to like connect it to one device, and that's because so many people are connected to it. And that's the exact same thing with your energy. If you're trying to practice such like high vibrational things and you want to become more blissful and achieve everything that you want in your life, but you're still somehow within the same vicinity and field of people who are of low vibrational, then you start to become disconnected yourself and you start to become distorted. And the only way that you can remove yourself from that situation is literally removing them from your life. And it doesn't necessarily mean people, like not every factor has to be a person. It can also mean food, it can also mean experiences, it can mean even music as well. Music carries such low vibration depending on what type of music you listen to. And the only way that you can protect your energy is by aligning yourself with things that are of high vibration. Remember, your energy is so sacred and unique to you. You shouldn't be putting too much of your energy into other people or other situations or other things. The only way that you can protect your energy is by literally gatekeeping it. Yes, you can look out for people, you can dedicate some of yourself to people, especially if you're the type of person who's quite selfless and you tend to think about others. You can do that, but there comes a time and a place where you are allowed to be selfish in a good way and not give out too much of your energy, because when you give out too much of your energy, you become lost and distorted, just like the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi example. Coming back to people, that's one of the most important things, because again, as human beings, we crave connection, we crave communication. Like, obviously, if you were the only person in this whole wide world, you wouldn't be able to survive, because naturally we do crave connection and we need connection. But you really need to be careful with who you associate with, because if you associate with people who have such low energy and carry such low vibrations with them, it will affect you negatively. It will affect the way you view life. It will affect the way you live your life. It will even affect the things that you're trying to manifest into your life, because whatever you manifest into your life, or whatever you're trying to attract into your life, has not got to do with what you say and what you like visualize in your mind. Of course, those things help, but the only way that you attract things into your life is by being on the same vibration as it. So, for example, if you're trying to attract like love, if you're trying to attract abundance and money, you have got to be in the same vibration of those things. But your vibration is not just affected by how you think and how you behave, it's also affected by the things that are around you. So if you're around people who are so negative and view life in a negative way and respond to things in a negative way, or even just like people who tend to view you in a negative way, they will affect your vibration. Your vibrational state will then go down to their level, and then you won't be able to attract things in your life. That's why it's so important for you to protect your energy. Now, obviously, you're going to be like, how do I protect my energy? The only way that you can protect your energy is by being very, very mindful and careful with who you associate with, because the type of people who are negative, I call them energy vampires. They drain your energy. They're like energy drainers. They almost suck all the good like vibrations out of you so that they can feel better. Instead of choosing to healing on their own, they tend to view life negatively, and they try to bring you down with them so that they can feel better, because they don't want to feel alone. When you come across those type of people, yes, it might be someone who's very, very close to you, but it's so important for you to realize that it's okay to be selfish in that moment, because if you don't, then you will then become what they are, because energy is so contagious. And again, it's not just people, it's also like it's even the things that you do. If you wake up every single day, and this is so important because Joe Dispenza, who's one of my favorites, he talks about how it takes around 30 days for something to become a habit. Now, if you wake up every single day and you think that your life is going to fall apart, or if you view life negatively, or even if you're in a state of like boredom, for example, boredom is low vibrational. If you're in a state of boredom and you don't know what's going on in your life, and you feel as though you're almost waiting for something good to happen, that again is low vibrational, and that's not really protecting your energy. We are 3D human beings. We have a soul that's made of energy, but we have that soul in our body. Our body is basically the carrier of that soul. We need to make sure that we place more of our attention and our power over our soul than our bodies, because your soul can travel anywhere and everywhere around the universe. That's why you can visualize your manifestations in seconds, whereas your body can't. Your body lives in a 3D world. So if, for example, you wake up and you're used to your normal habits, you wake up in your bed and you don't have what's in front of you that you desire, it doesn't mean that those things won't happen. It just means that it hasn't arrived yet, and that's simply due to the concept of time and space. But if you view life in a negative way, and if you think that way, then obviously your vibrations will then align with that, and then you won't get the things that you're visualizing in your head, because you're essentially becoming a slave to what your body views around you. Yes, you might not have the expensive car that you want. I mean, I know that this is so materialistic, but you might not have what you're desiring, or what you've written down in your journal, or what you have in your vision board right in front of you, but that doesn't mean it won't happen. So when you're constantly living in accordance to what your body is in, then you will again drain your energy. The only way that you can protect your energy is by aligning yourself with what you desire and what you want to achieve. Another way that you can actually protect your energy is by the food. Now, it's going to sound crazy, but I promise you, when I stopped eating junk food, I felt so much better. And like, I know, like, obviously, yes, junk food tastes good. In fact, I still eat like, sweet treats and stuff, but I don't eat like takeaways, I don't eat like McDonald's, I don't eat like KFC. And that's because these type of foods carry such low vibrational energy, to the point where when you constantly consume it, your body, like, it's not just your body, like, it's not just about the physical side of things, it's also like your soul. Like, when you consume all this fast food, things that are not properly made, things that are not made from the ground and not whole foods, it will start to lower your vibration. And obviously with the diseases that it causes, like diabetes, and when it causes things like, heart, like high blood pressure, these diseases are also low vibration. That's why Joe Dispenza, his clients have actually cured themselves from like terminal illnesses through his meditations. Because yes, I know that like environmental factors, like not getting enough exercise and not eating like healthy foods, that does affect your health. But also your health is run through your nervous system. And the only way that you can regulate your nervous system is by literally being in tune with high vibrational things and high vibrational energy. Your nervous system is based on your habits as well. That's why when you start to adopt a new habit, it feels so like uncomfortable. It's because your nervous system is not used to it. Whereas if you wake up every single day and you do the same things, then your nervous system is used to it. That's why it doesn't feel uncomfortable, it doesn't feel scary. But when we try new things, it feels scary because your nervous system isn't used to it, and it sort of triggers that flight or flight response. So when you want to protect your energy, it's so important to understand what you consume, and also like move your body, like go to the gym, like exercise, even though it's very, very healthy for your body, but it's also very important for your soul. And that's why you feel so good after a good workout session, and you feel good after having such a healthy meal, because these things vibrate at such a high frequency. If you look at like the there's like a vibration chart of different foods, and there's different color foods that are in accordance to your 7 centers or your 7 chakras of your body. For example, you have the root chakra, which is at the very bottom center of your body. Is the center that makes you feel whole and grounded, and that chakra is associated with the color red. And if you consume red foods, those red foods sort of complete your chakra, your root chakra. And the same thing with like the rest of your chakras. It kind of goes in a rainbow state. So like it goes from like red, orange, yellow, so on and so forth. And if you consume foods that are of the same color of those chakras, you actually start to complete your whole chakras. And I promise you, at the end of like a month, if you do this for a month, you will feel completely different. When you understand how frequency works, then it becomes so much easier for you to understand. Whatever frequency you're on, you attract the same frequency. And that's exactly like the Bluetooth method and the Wi-Fi method. The reason why your phone can connect to the Wi-Fi is because it's on the same frequency. Whereas, when like you go like underground, or like you're in like a deserted area, you have no service and you disconnect from your Wi-Fi, and you disconnect from like your phone, the network, and that's because your frequencies are different. You being out in the wilderness has distorted that frequency with whatever network you're on or whatever Wi-Fi that you're connected to. The same thing with Bluetooth. If you're connected to like a speaker or your AirPods, and you go a very, very long way and a very long distance away from it, it starts to disconnect. And that's exactly with your energy. If you are so close to something that's so negative, then you will start to actually feel that vibration connecting. Whereas if you're around something that's so positive, then your vibrations will also align with it. And again, that's why it's so important for you to protect your energy in that way. Now, I'm not saying that like you will become that negative thing. Like if you're around like a negative person, it doesn't mean that you will become negative. But again, it's not just about the conscious mind, it's also about the subconscious mind. 99.9% of whatever you're attracting into your life, whatever your habits are, it's all down to your subconscious mind. So you may not be consciously a negative person, you still view life positively, but subconsciously, where all your vibrations and frequencies are, will correspond with whatever you're in. So if you're around someone who's negative, then you will become negative. Your energy, your soul will become negative. Not your body, your soul, because that's what you are. You're not just your body, you're also your soul. So whenever you feel like your energy is depleting, be very mindful with your surroundings and who you're surrounding yourself with, because if it's with negative people who have low vibrational states, then you will then become affected by it, and then you won't be able to attract your desires. When you want to attract high vibrational things like gratitude and abundance and love, those are of high vibrations. They're not low vibrational things. But the only way that you can attract those things is by being on the same vibrational state as it. That is literally how the universe works. The universe doesn't respond to words. It doesn't respond to the conscious mind. It responds to the subconscious. So if you are in a high vibrational state, then life will just like free flow. It will flow so naturally. But if you're in a negative vibration, then you won't attract anything but matter. You won't be a magnet. You'll be a source of matter where you have no power whatsoever. It's kind of like, when you have a magnet and like a paperclip, you will be the paperclip, not the magnet. The paperclip has literally no control. It's being controlled by the magnet. Whereas if you become the magnet, then you're the one that has control, because you're attracting everything to you. So always remember to protect your energy by being in the same proximity and vicinity as things that are also of high vibration.